Hey everybody, my name is David Silverberg, and today we're going to be covering the client portal, more specifically, what it looks like exactly for your clients. So you're going to get that real client experience today. I'm going to start completely fresh with a brand new contact, so you can see from start to finish, new contact. And I encourage you guys, definitely follow along. Maybe you want to create a fictitious contact for yourselves as we go through this to see what they're going to experience and to kind of experiment with different things. We're going to go ahead and we'll say, let's give someone a random name, Tanya Kingston, whatever. Make sure they have a valid email address here. I'm going to be using a very specific and very interesting software here called Mailinator to accomplish this, because I don't want to put in any real email address of friends that I know or anything. So Mailinator is basically a free to use inbox, public inbox. So you don't want to use it for anything too private. But for testing software like this, it's great, especially if you want to test out a specific software for the first time, but you don't want to give them your personal email address. Mailinator is great to act as like a dummy inbox, so you can get that, login email there without them having access to your actual email. So I'm going to go ahead and just make one up off the top of my head. So Tanya, Silverberg, Kingston, some random number at mailinator.com. Now, I made it completely random like that so that people just aren't very encouraged to go search for that and see the inbox for whatever reason, if you want to take that extra precaution. I'm copying that address right now, and I'm hitting yes on the client portal. So this is all that's really needed to invite your client to the client portal. Is there needs to be a valid email address, and this question needs to be marked yes. As soon as we hit save, it's going to shoot out an email to that address inviting them to create an account on our client portal. You can see right here next to the client portal section that yes, you did invite them. No, they have not logged in yet. And if they do log in, you're going to get to see their last login date right there. If your client complains that they didn't get anything, or for whatever reason you just feel like you need to, you can click here to resend the invitation email at any point. Now I'm going to go ahead and see what it looks like on our client side. So I'm going to do a new incognito window to check out that Mailinator inbox. So you always want to do an incognito window or private window, or simply use a different browser to access this email, so that mailinator.com, so that the browser won't think that you're logged into your account. You do want to see what your client is going to realistically experience. So I'm going to paste the email address here that I copied from my contact and hit go. And just like that, just by having the name that I want to search for, it brings me to that inbox there for me to test out. We can see that I have an email here from David Silverberg. That's me. So you get an email from the user that invited you. Click on the email. Your secure client portal is ready. You can rebrand this so that your color scheme and logo are your own. You can actually have full control over all of that if we go to our settings page and we go to client portal, logo, and colors. Right here, you can change the color to whatever you like and the logo to whatever you like. Back in our inbox, I'm going to click on the green create password and login button there. Again, this whole page can be branded so your colors and your logo. I'm going to create the password and create my account. And just like that, we have access to the client portal. This is what your client's going to see. And on your end, as the user, you got a notification right up here on the top letting you know the first time that someone logged in to their client portal. So you're not going to get bombarded every time, but at least the first time you will know. And when you go back to your contact page, you're going to see next to the client portal section that it says yes. And by clicking on the little hamburger menu there, you get a little more information, their last login date, the actual email that they used to log in case they forget it and ask you. And if you ever need to change that email address or reset them entirely, you can hit this button right there to reset their client portal experience. There's a couple of things that you can do with them here in the portal, and I'll show you each one. Under the Activities tab, they're going to receive any tasks or events that you invite them to. So they're not going to see all of the tasks and events that you create, only the ones that you specifically send to them and invite them to. Same thing with the invoices. They're not going to see every invoice that you create, only the invoices that you actually finalize and send to them. They're going to see secure messages that you can have a thread going back and forth, as well as a tab for all of their payments that they have paid to you. They'll see a history of that as well once they start making payments. The options on the top right, the account summary, you can control whether or not they see this in the client portal settings for the contact. So that's right over here under the client portal settings. That's what all this is going to control. To adjust these, just edit the contact. And to adjust them on a mass scale, you can do that here as well on the client portal settings page. Let's start inviting Tanya to some things. So I'm going to do a new task. Let's say sign and return retainer agreement. Perfect. I need to get this done by Wednesday. Step 1, sign. Step 2, return. Give them some more instructions here. You can have reminders set, and you can have email, pop-up, or text message for minutes, hours, or days ahead of time. And all of these reminders go to all assigned parties, including your contacts. So you can actually provide text message reminders for this task directly to your client. And this field right here is how you control whether or not Tanya or your client is going to actually see and receive this task. So if I leave it blank, they have no idea it exists. If I invite them to it here, they'll get an email, if this is marked as yes, to initially let them know they have a task to worry about, and they'll receive the task in their client portal. Same holds true for events. So I can do a new event, call it a hearing, description, don't be late, and I'm going to add reminders. You can actually have text message reminders once again for these hearings, so very, very important to note that. Give them a location and make sure to invite them right there. So now we did that. Let's go ahead and create a quick invoice. Again, the client is not going to see this at this level. Simply having it saved is still private for you to adjust and change as you need to. But whenever you're ready to quote unquote finalize it, go ahead and send it over to your client email. And lastly, let's do a message. So new secure message, invite your client. Subject, sign and return agreement. So this is where you can actually give them more instructions and choose files down here and actually send them a file from your computer, maybe that retainer agreement, whatever you got to get over to them. You can actually send them over the secure message. And this is the body, and send. All your messages with them will tally up here in the messages tab, so you can always keep track of whether or not they've seen it. This little checkbox does just that. So it's checkbox next to me because I saw it. Tanya has yet to see it, so there's no green check. So let's go see how everything looks on our client's end. There's nothing here right now, but when I refresh the page, there will be. But in the meantime, check back on that mailinator. I'm going to go back to our inbox. And here are all the emails they've received. So they have a new task. This is what it looks like. They can mark it complete right from here or view details to go to the portal. They can see the event. Same idea. They can see their invoice. Clicking on this link will take them to their portal. And they can see they have a new message, which doesn't detail anything about the message, but clicking on this will invite them to their portal where they'll have to log in to view that message. Back in our portal, I'm just going to refresh the page. We're going to see all that new stuff pour in. So we have our task, which they can mark it complete or send us a message directly to us about this task. I'll mark it complete from here. In that moment, you got a notification on your end letting you know the task was completed, so you know right away. They also have their hearing here as well and when it's for. Invoices. This is their invoice. They can click open and pay to open it and pay it. You got a notification again just because they view that invoice. They can click on the green Pay Now button to make payments as needed, after which they'll see a payments tab here as well. And then the secure message right here. All of them get logged. So you can think of these as separate email chains. You can have different threads for different topics, or just open one and have a long standing thread back and forth. Thanks so much. They can click their own files to include and reply. Here you have your history of the conversation. And back on your end, I'm going to refresh our contact here. In our activities, we can see that the task here was completed. If I open it, I can go down here to the history and see it on the bottom, who completed it and when. In our messages, we have everything that's been going back and forth. We can now see that Tanya read it, but I haven't, so I know I have a new message to review. And that's everything you can do with the client portal and what your clients can actually see on it. Hope that was helpful, and enjoy.